because we can all fall into the trap when we're working from home and the pantry's just over there.
Hello and welcome to Meet the Coach. I'm your host, Carla Regan, and today we're going to be talking about creating that balance in your life so you can feel more energized and more organized, which probably covers quite a big audience. Now, our guest today is Carolyn Apostolou from Inspired to Nurture. Now, Carolyn is a trained psychologist. She has a teaching background and holds NLP coaching qualifications. In addition to that, Carolyn's really passionate about low tox living. I want to find out a bit more about that. She's also a stay-at-home mum with young kids, not one, not two, not three, but 4 young kids. She runs her own health and wellbeing business, and not surprisingly, she focuses on helping busy mums just like herself create a better balance. Carolyn's based in Melbourne, Australia, and joins me today. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome.
Hi,
and thanks
Carla.
for joining us.
Thank you so much.
It's great to have you on board because I know you're so busy with your time. So thanks for squeezing us in today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, our theme today is centered around feeling more energized and getting more organized. And I'm keen to jump into this topic with you. But before we do that, can you just share with us your journey from, having a passion of learning and teaching and your love of healthy living to running your own business while being a mum of 4 young kids?
Yes, not many people have 4 young kids today, do they? Look, my background started in psychology and in teaching students, VCE students, in those last few years, very stressful times. And I absolutely loved teaching them not only the psychology curriculum, but really teaching them to look after their health and their well-being. And that's when I really noticed a gap in adult life when there's no one actually looking after you, not like there are teachers when you're in school. Fast forward, and I was a stay-at-home mum with my 4 young kids. My husband works in a really high-pressured job, and I loved being at home, nurturing them as they developed and they grew. But I got a little bit bored being at home, just making school lunches and, managing the kids and that sort of thing. And I felt that during that time, whilst I loved being at home and with the kids, I was adding to my toolkit and I was ever expanding my knowledge about health and well-being and using low tox products around the house and my love for people. So really connecting with people, and there developed the whole idea of using all my knowledge and all my background information to work with women, busy women, some women who are busy in corporate jobs, balancing kids as well, stay-at-home mums like I had been for quite some time, and also mums like myself who are entrepreneurs, who have a side business, but still have everything else going on in their life. And so that is what I love doing. I love working with those women, helping them to nourish themselves with daily routines and daily practices so that they fill their cup, so that they're better wives, they're better mums, they're better friends, really, and they've got lots of tools at their fingertips to manage and restore balance in their home.
What a lovely introduction and a really great journey. I mean, obviously, you've done this on your own for the last 10 years, and I love that you're sharing the tips and the tricks and the strategies to help other mums, busy mums, corporate mums, as you say. Mums come in all shapes and sizes to transition, and finding space for yourself as a mum can be really challenging, and it's an important element, I think, in having that healthy balance and creating some calmness in your life, because it can get really busy. So as a wellness coach, can you share how you work with busy mums and how you help them feel more balanced, more in control of their home and their careers in some cases?
Absolutely. And I think I have first-hand experience, so I know exactly what it is like to feel overwhelmed, to feel the guilt when your husband is leaving in the morning, leaving you at home with all the kids, or just feeling overwhelmed like you're back in the kitchen again in the afternoon, pulling together meals when you've got young kids at your feet, or just, when your head hits the pillow at the end of the night and you think, oh gosh, I didn't even wash my face, but I'm just so tired. So I can absolutely relate to the feeling that a lot of women are feeling. And yet, in the last few years, I myself have been able to pull myself out of that and to instill nourishing practices like a beautiful morning routine that just, really sings to my soul and fills my cup up and just helps me then set the intention for the rest of the day. And so all these different women that I work with, whether, like I said to you before, whether they are busy in their corporate roles or they are at home with the kids all the day and they're balancing a side business as well as mum life, just helping them to understand to look after themselves and what can they do for themselves each day for 5 minutes, for half an hour, what nutritious food can they be eating, and other small minor changes that then have a ripple effect into every other aspect of their life.
I really like what you said, and when you were talking about busy mums looking after themselves first, it reminds me when you go on a plane and they talk about the oxygen mask coming down and you've got to fit it yourself first and then help others. It's the same analogy, really. You can't be a great mum, partner, friend, aunt, wife, employee, a business owner, without first taking some time out for you. So I really love that approach. I've took some notes down here. I want to ask you about sleeping, Carolyn, because you can have a really great routine during the day that can get you organised and sorted out. But how important is sleep to our health and well-being?
Well, and I think as busy women, we are often guilty of staying up way past our bedtime to get things done because it's quiet, the kids are asleep, and we can focus on work or we can focus on jobs around the house. But let me assure you, those household jobs are still going to be there in the morning, and it is actually far, far more important that you maintain a regular sleep-wake routine. And what I mean by that is going to sleep at the same time every night, like 10 or 10:30, and waking up at the same time every morning. So for example, 6 or 6:30. And that is going to be so great for your body to get into a routine that's going to allow you to sleep better. That's going to nourish your body with great sleep so that you will feel more energized and more vitality when you do wake up.
Fabulous. I try to do that practice same time every week. And I heard that sometimes you can incur a sleep debt if you don't have enough time or you cut out on your hours of sleep. So, I think sleep's an important part of that. If we can shift gears for a moment, because I want to talk about another part of your business. You do help busy mums. But busy mums are also in the corporate world. And I know that you're already running mental health workshops for employees that may be experiencing some stress or some anxiety, some uncertainty, particularly around things that may be happening in their life, but in the world as well. Can you just share a little bit about what you're doing in that space, Carolyn, and who you're helping, and how's the feedback being received in what you're delivering?
Well, having lived in Melbourne, the lockdown capital, for the last 2 years, I really know firsthand the challenges, and not only trying to work, but also trying to homeschool 4 kids. I mean, it was crazy times, and some days were really out of control and other days, thankfully, were far smoother. And my husband is still working from home, even though the kids are now back at school. So there's been a lot of challenges and changes to our patterns. And that provided an opportunity to reach out for me to employers that I knew and to offer some health and wellbeing workshops specifically for their staff on how they could support their staff and manage their mental health whilst they were working from home. And a lot of this information was just creating a workspace that's different from their sleep area to make sure that they moved their body and they maintained all the things that brought them joy prior to the lockdowns, that they could still do. So really encouraging them to still go out for a run or do an online workshop, and to really look at nourishing their bodies with good food, because we can all fall into the trap when we're working from home and the pantry's just over there, to be constantly snacking and moving to the pantry or to sugary snacks and things like that. So the workshops were very well received. As you can imagine, the employers loved to be able to be seen to be supporting their staff, and I think the staff really appreciated the reminder of a lot of the tips and the strategies that I was sharing with them. And I got lots of comments like, when can Carolyn come back? And I have been back at quite a few of those companies running other workshops on resilience, on sleep techniques, on just parenting, and all sorts of things. So I really love that opportunity to connect with the corporate workers, who many of those are busy mums and dads, who just needed a refresh on some health and wellbeing tips and strategies.
It sounds like you've got quite a broad array of tools in your toolkit to help create that feeling of more energy, getting organised, low tox, healthy living, and feeling like you're your better self, I guess. The COVID cushion comes to mind when you were talking about all the bad eating habits people have when they've been working from home. So guilty, probably put on 1 or 2 kilos.
Yes, absolutely.
I love the work that you're doing in the corporate arena, because we do need to support employees, because many of them are working remotely away from their teams, and that has an adjustment. And of course, you mentioned homeschooling. That's been a tough transition for any parent. What about for people that are watching and listening to our interview series today, Carolyn? What tips would you give them that they could implement today to start a health and well-being routine in their lives?
Okay, I'm going to share a couple of tips with you, but the number one tip really is to implement a morning routine if you haven't already got one of those started. I can't tell you how this has changed not only my life, but many of the clients that I work with. And this could just be 5 or 10 minutes, or if you've got half an hour, go with the time that you've got available. But I love to get up half an hour before the rest of my house, just to enjoy the stillness and the quietness of that time, and really doing different things for me. And so I love to personalize that with the clients that I work with. It could be some ideas, could be just some gentle stretching, a slow yoga breathwork class, could be that you get out for a walk, just to sit outside on the grass, or on your veranda with a hot cup of tea and just listening to the birds wake up and just being immersed in nature, or just even listening to a meditation, whether that's 5 minutes or longer. So setting yourself up, filling your own cup, and setting the intention for the day is my number one tip. Anybody can implement that. So definitely, if you haven't already got a morning routine, do that. Some people prefer to just get up and go in the morning, and they haven't got an evening routine, so you could switch it to the evening. And I do, a sleep tip really is to get off any screens half an hour to an hour before bedtime, because we know that blue light that's emitted from devices can interfere with our sleep patterns. And so maybe that half an hour when you turned your phone off and your computer off, maybe that's when you may listen to a guided meditation, or do some journaling and dump all those ideas that are in your brain, stop that brain chatter, so you can actually go to sleep. So think about a routine, morning or night. Another tip really, if you're not somebody that moves your body every day, I would really encourage you to at least aim for 3 times a week, and go with the time you've got available. If you've only got 5 or 10 minutes, go for a quick walk around the block, or just go out into your garden and walk around, smell the roses if you've got a beautiful garden like that. Get out if you've got a dog or a pet, take the dog out for a walk, and to really be present in nature. Try not to be scrolling scrolling your phone as you're walking. Really leave it at home or keep it in your pocket unless you're listening to a podcast, but really smile at the people that you walk beside and listen and be noticing the blossom that's out or the beautiful flowers and things that are in people's gardens. So move your body, and like we've said before, yes, there's so much bad food out there. Wherever possible, try really to eat nutritious food, and it might be that you have an affirmation that you tell yourself, or it's on a post-it note on your fridge that tells you and reminds you, everything that goes into my body is nourishing my body and myself, and to remind yourself to really load up on so much vegetables every day and a side of protein, whether that's some hard-boiled eggs, some steamed chicken or some salmon, anything like that, a can of tuna. So try to limit our exposure to sugar, especially sugary drinks. Just be cautious of your alcohol intake and coffee and caffeine. So try to only have, 1 or 2 a day, and not too many in quick succession. So they would be my tips. I hope that some of those you could take away and implement straight away.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I wrote down some of your tips here. I'm pleased to say I'm doing a couple of them. I really like setting the intention for the day. I'm going to embrace that. And I love the idea of this digital detox, switching off your computer, switching off your iPad, your mobile phone, at least for 30 minutes prior. I really love that idea. So, yeah, and they're really easy tips that anyone can start to introduce into their daily routine right now. Exactly. So thank you. Thanks for sharing those. Now, Carolyn, you're a member of the Coaching Directory. So what does joining the Coaching Directory mean for you and your business?
Well, as a busy coach, I would only want to be included in the most important coaching directory that there is. And so I'm really honoured to be here in the health and wellness section, to be able to be found more easily and just to share what I'm passionate about. But I also love the community. I've loved meeting a lot of the other coaches that are included in the directory, finding out their area of expertise and also who their niche client is, because as I work with clients on health and well-being, often they ask me, do I know a relationships coach, or do I know somebody that can help with them, their finances? And so it's great being able to say, well, yes, actually, I know somebody, I know them personally. I've met them through the coaching directory. Let me introduce you. And so I'm just so thankful to be a part of this wonderful directory. Thank you so much, Carla.
It's a pleasure to have you on board and on our directory, Carolyn. And look, this brings us to the end of our interview today. So thank you so much for joining us on Meet the Coach and for educating us around, the tips for creating a healthy living, getting more energy and getting more organised. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And look, thank you to our audience for watching and listening to Meet the Coach. You can connect directly with Carolyn from Inspire to Nurture from the Coaching Directory site. If you enjoy our show, then please rate and review us and be sure to catch us on our next interview. I'm Carla Regan from the Coaching Directory, where we connect you to your ideal coach.